Hi, I'm Colin from Time Valley Motorhomes, and today I will be doing the handover on the Swift Sundance 630L. So if we come to the driver's side of the vehicle, the first thing you're going to be met with is your freshwater filling point. So this opens with the round headed key on the keys, and you'd simply take the cover off and put a hose pipe in here until it overflowed, or you can see inside the level of fresh water on board. If you're wild camping, you will have to take a full tank with you. If you go into a site, take a maximum of 20 litres, as it is better on the fuel usage and gives you a better payload. Also next to it is a 12 volt input for the submersible pump. So should you not be able to get a hose pipe to the vehicle, you can bring an aqua roll or a bucket of water to it, put a submersible pump into there and the filler into the water, and you can suck the water out and into the holding tank. Coming further down the vehicle, this is where you hook the vehicle up. So to hook up, you simply slide off, lift the collar and slide back on. Always hook the vehicle up first and then the point, as we wouldn't want you to get an electric shock should the lead be faulty or there should be any problem with the lead. Behind here is your toilet, so in here is your cassette. Again, opens with the round headed key, the small key. And to get the cassette out, simply lift the green lever, slide the cassette out like so, and then you do have a handle to drag it round to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your toilet block. And then if you just unscrew the green cap, press the button, empty it out. Once you've emptied it, put some water in, give it a slosh round and empty again. And then if you're using the liquid form of chemical, the cap falls straight into here and it's ready to use again. If you're using the tablet form, you put a pint of water back into the cassette, push it back into the vehicle, and then drop a sachet down the toilet. You also have your separate reservoir on this vehicle, so your flush isn't taken off your main freshwater tank, it is taken off a separate reservoir tank. So this is where you put your pink solution and top up with water for your flush. And you can see on here the level of your flush. So this is how much water is in your reservoir for your flush for your toilet. Coming down behind the rear driver's wheel, you do have your wastewater. So again, you drive over a grid on the way out of the site and open the tap and drain off all your wastewater. This is water you've put down a plug hole, so any dishes water, hand-based water, showering water, or anything you've drained down the plug. And you would drive over the grid and let this out. And in the winter, it's very important that you drain all your tank down, so your waste, your fresh and your boiler, which I'll show you going around the vehicle. Your boiler is behind here, so this is your boiler cover. So when you are heating the water on gas, this cover must come off, and to do so, if you place your hand at the top, put your thumb in the middle and peel the cover off. So only when heating the water on gas this comes off, otherwise the gas boiler won't light. Coming further around the vehicle, you do have your ladder, and you just undo the clip, put the key in, and this will fold down. So to use your ladder, if you put your key in and turn it so it's horizontal, pull the clamp off, and then you'll be able to push, take the bungee off the side as well. You'll be able to push up and slide down. Then this gives you access to on the roof of the vehicle. And next to it you do have your wind down bike rack. So we lift this, pull the clamps off, pull this down, and then you can put your winding handle on, which I'll show you in a minute, to wind the bike rack up and down. And then there's two straps on either side which you will have to release before winding down. And then you would put your winding handle into the side and you would wind the bike rack down. This makes it easier for you to load it up with your bikes, and then you can wind it back up once you've got your bikes on board. Obviously then you would put your, once you've wound it down far enough to get the bikes on, like so. You would then put your wheels on the rails and put these through the spokes of the wheels and tie the wheels down to the rail. And then you'd put your crossbars through here, so for the first bike and second bike, and then they are securely tied down to the vehicle. And you do have storage coming down the passenger side rear. So this is storage underneath your U-shaped lounge. So you've got your rafter bar for the middle of your awning. You've got some storage underneath here, your wet locker, and you do have access from inside the lounge. Going further down, you've got your gas locker, LPG, liquid petroleum gas. So again, pinch and open up. And then this is fitted with a pigtail so it can connect to the bottle, which is a hand tightening pigtail, so no need for a spanner. And then if it's just a left hand thread to hand tighten the pigtail onto the bottle, and right to untighten. Turn on at the top of the bottle. Once you do turn it on at the top of the bottle, there's a green button on the regulator here. So if you just push that for 3 seconds once you've turned the bottle on, this will allow gas into the vehicle. Turn your bottles off when travelling and make sure they are securely tied down. You've got your two fridge vent covers, you've got your awning light and your awning above us. And then you do have your diesel filler on your passenger door, which opens with the main ignition key that you use to drive the vehicle. And then coming into the vehicle, on the passenger slam panel here, you've got your tyre pressures, which are 5.5 bar all round, which is 79.5 psi front and rear. Underneath the passenger seat, you do have your toolkit. So this has got a jack and a brace, a torn iron, a screwdriver in, and then this little catch here is for turning the seat round into the rear. Your engine battery lives underneath the floors, so should you ever need to replace the battery, you would lift this cover to gain access to the engine battery. But you do have a bonnet release on the side of the passenger dashboard. Once you're underneath the bonnet, you do have your paint code here. Paint code, you've got your coolant, your brake fluid, your power steering fluid, and your washer fluid for your screen wash. You've got your oil filler and your oil dipstick, which is a red handle here for checking your levels before you go away. And then should you need to jump start the vehicle, you'd put your positive underneath this cover, so this is where you put your red clip, and then you'd put your negative onto the earth located by the passenger headlight. So to operate your awning, put your winding hands in and then wind the awning out until you reach inside of the canopy. So we're about there, and then you do have two legs, so if you place your hand at the front and the back, release the leg, slide it down, use the toggle to adjust the height of the awning, so your telescopic leg, and then tighten. Do the same at the other end. And then walk the awning out the rest of the way, or you can put your awning feet against the vehicle like so, in shimmer slots. Put the awning, if it's windy, please don't put the awning out. So winds over 15 miles an hour, the awning shouldn't be out. And if you do go out for the evening or to bed, please make sure the awning is put in, as the awning can cause damage to the vehicle should it be left out in the wind. And then to light your Truma fire on gas, so this is heating the van if you're well camping. You've got 1 to 10 here, so if you just turn it around, look in here, and then you push down and you'll hear it roar. And if you look in here, you will be able to see the flame on the bottom there, in that corner there, you see it. So this is how you'd heat your van if you weren't hooked up and you were what's called wild camping. And then across here, so this is your fan. So if you didn't have the fan turned on, it would convect out the front of the fire. If not, you can put the fan on. So O is off, you can put on a manual, and it will manually give the heat around the van through the various parts, the ducting, until you manually intervene and turn the temperature down. And then you've got 1 to 5 as your fan speed, or you've got A, which is automatic. So once the van hits the temperature you've selected, it will cut out until the thermostat picks up it's gone cooler or colder, and then it will kick back in. But this is your Truma fire. Obviously when you're wild camping, you won't want to use the 12-volt fan. You just want to convect it out the front because you want to get the most use out your 12-volt leisure battery as you can before going to a site and recharging the battery. So this vehicle's been fitted with a Camos satellite system. So to work it, you would just turn the red switch on to on, and then it'll say that it's on power, it's on Astro 2, and it'll flash until you get a little light here which you'll say lock, and that means it's locked on. But you will hear the vehicle on the satellite on the vehicle's roof moving around until it finds that it's locked on. So it will go to lock in a minute and find the Astro in the sky. If you did want to turn the selection of the satellite over, so if you go further abroad, you can just press this here and it'll go from Astro 2 to Astro 1 to other Astros, Hotbird, and so on. Also have a TV aerial, so if you're using digital TV on your TV instead of satellite, you can push this up should you struggle to get a signal and use the toggle to direct the aerial. But when travelling, make sure you've loosened the nut off, pulled it in the vehicle and securely tightened it. You've also got your Vision Plus booster, so you can turn it on and turn the signal up and down should the signal be too strong or too weak. And there you'll see on your Camos box for your satellite, it's gone to lock and it's showing an amber light, so that means it's locked on to Astro 2 in the sky. So you should be able to turn your telly on, put it on a satellite, and you should be able to get a signal. You've also got, this is also your wardrobe for hanging your clothes, and you've got some storage here. Now in your washroom, so you've got your shower and your shower head, which you'd turn the tap on and then you'd use the trigger to bring the water through, like so. But like I said, in the winter, if you just take the trigger head off and allow this hose to lie in the shower tray. And to operate your Fedford toilet, so you've got your flush here, so you press and hold, this will bring your liquid through, pink or blue liquid or green. And then open the bowl, or the slide, or the trapdoor, or whatever you want to call it, you just slide to the right and it'll deposit it into the cassette. If this was to be open, you'll not get the cassette out the exterior of the vehicle, but when using the toilet, always use it with the blade open, flush, and then you'd shut the blade. And then you'll see here, this will go red when it's indicating that the cassette is full. And make sure when you're travelling, you do tie back your shower screens to stop the toilet from getting wet when you're showering. Tie them back, otherwise these can clatter about. And then you have the same skylight as the one above the lounge, where you pinch and lift it up, or you can lift whatever end up depending on the wind for ventilation. And you've got your bathroom light on the cord there. I'll now show you how to make the dinette up into a bed. So underneath both you have got storage, so you lift the table off. So you lift it 90 degrees and then lift the table off, and you place the table on the grooves, which I'll do in a second and show you what to do. So lift the cushions up and place the table onto here, then you've got two bed boards underneath here, and I'll show you what to do next. And you'd fold the leg, so don't be shy, just pull the leg, that's how you do it. you're not going to break it, to fold the leg before placing it in between the two travelling seats. So once you have folded the table, you place it between the two travelling seats. You then slide these out, place the bed boards, which are kept underneath the travelling seats, onto here, and then you'd put your cushions on, which I'll show you in a minute. This is how the bed will look once you've put the cushions in. So these two can be found on the lower backrests, so you put them in the middle on top of the table. Your long infill cushion is above the bed, and this goes on top of the board, and your slim one, which is also in there, will go nearest to the Swift cushions, and then you put your infill cushions in, and that would be how you'd make your large double bed. And your bed above the luton has got a net on, which will clip in to the clips here, so if you put small children up there. And there's also a fly screen, blacker blind and windows up there, and you can push it up because it is on gas struts to give you more access from the cab in. And you'll also notice this is where you store your ladder. So to use the Avtex telly that's been fitted to this vehicle, you press and hold, and you'll see the blue light come on at the bottom. This pushes your telly up and down. So this is so you push it up when travelling and lock it in with the catch, slide it down, and you get the telly out like so. And then you've got source, so you can press source, and this is satellite telly, so there's your satellite working, so it's locked on like I've shown you, and there's your picture of your satellite. If you did struggle with the satellite, which you've probably not, but if you did ever want to use the aerial, you could press source and go to digital TV, because this is fitted with a digital aerial. And then what you'd need to do to do an auto search is press AQT in the middle, this big orange button, press and hold for about 30 seconds, press OK, and it'll find as many channels as it can. If not, you could go back to source and you can get a DVD which will go in the side there. But this is a 12 volt TV, so you can use this while camping as well. And to make the bed in the rear lounge, you turn the turnbuckle, slide your latch system out, pull it all the way, and it'll stop on these grooves. So what you need to do is lift it up and pull it back and put it over the grooves, and that's pulled the bed lats out to the full extent. And then you'd use your backrest cushions, place them in the middle, place them upside down like so. So place that one in and place the other one in, and pull your base cushion back. But do turn them upside down, and then you do have your double bed. Turn them all upside down because there's a flatter surface to sleep on, and you can put a fitted sheet on like so. So if you lift the cushion out, that would be in the rear driver's side corner, you'll see that underneath here, if you lift this cover as well, is your Truma boiler. So this holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter it's very important that you drain it down, and to do so you just simply lift this toggle up and it'll drain the 10 litres of water directly out underneath the chassis. When you come to reuse the vehicle, so you'd come in with no power on, no pump on, and you'd lift it up, and then when you do come to reuse the vehicle, if you just lie it down like so and then fill it with water, but make sure you do put your fresh water plug back in the front, fill it up, and then you can, once you filled it up, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll get automatic cold water. Go to the hot side, it'll cough, splutter, and make all sorts of noises until you get a steady flow on one tap, and then you do them all, and then it's primed for the winter, for the summer or the season. But in the winter it's very important that you drain it down of water, because these are very expensive to replace or repair should they be should the water have froze inside of it, and it's not covered under warranty unfortunately, as it's your responsibility to drain down the vehicle. So like I said, drain this down, leave the taps open, shower head off, it means that any water in the pipes can drain down and it won't freeze and cause any problems, because it's just plastic tanks underneath holding the water, and it's just plastic pipes around the vehicle. And this is very expensive to repair or replace should it be broken. So you do so by just lifting it up like so. So now in the cab, so to the right of you is your handbrake. You've got your electric windows, and you've got your joystick which you can move around to change the top or the blind spot on your mirrors. So you've got the cab out like so with the Remus cab blinds, and you do the same with the windscreen, but you push one up, one down, it pops out. You'd have to adjust the reversing camera, and then if you do the same with the other side, and that'll black that out. Your passenger side will do exactly the same as your driver's. You've got your headlight adjustment and your mode, which will change your date and time. Under your wiper stalk is your trip computer, which will show you your range, your instant consumption, your average consumption, and so on. You've got your indicators and your lights. You've got 6-speed manual gearbox with up and lift in for reverse, which will bring your reversing camera on. And then you've got your JVC head unit, which you turn on like so. And then you'd scan for your FM channels and press 1 to 6 to save, or you can press SRC in the bottom, change it to an auxiliary input, which is a 3.5mm jack, FM, or it'll read a CD, and you can pop that out should you want to. You do have your temperature and your fan speed and your distribution, your circulation. This locks the cab door and the habitation door on an evening and unlocks hazards, fog lights and heated mirrors. This glove box is lockable by the key as well, so should you have sat nav or anything you want, or valuable items you want to store away when you're away, you can lock them in there.